Seeing no one coming, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Go to the resolution, Sean, 1.2.1. You pretty much covered it.
Thank you.
Any questions on adopting this a second?
Second.
Second by Don, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're now at the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of city council meeting minutes. With that, I will now, second by Brent, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Action items tonight, we have two resolutions. The first one is 3.1.1, resolution 20-26, to set the date for public hearing to adopt CIP plan with intent to issue bonds. Public hearing to adopt CIP plan with intent to issue bonds for police and fire facilities, and we go to City Administrator Jenna Toomer.
Of the capital improvement plan and the issuance of general obligation bonds for the police and fire. We are setting that date as March 3rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at City Hall, and it is to issue bonds up to $65 million. Again, this is just setting the permanent approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Jenna on this? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. Any further discussion?
Yes, I'm not sure this is the place or not, but I don't know if I'm prepared to vote yes on this. I'm a nay vote. Not that I'm against the project. I think that we need the project, and if there's any doubt in the community that the project is needed for our police and our fire. Some of my objection is the cost, and I don't know if I'm ready to vote to offer up to $65 million without, when we went to the New Burnsville Fire Department, west of the wall, a couple miles, right in County Road 42. It's an amazing facility. It's 44,000 square feet. Our proposal is 40,000, only 4,000 square feet less, but yet we have no ambulance service running out of there. We have no water safety rescue out of there. For instance, they take care of the Mississippi River out of our facility. They've got a bank of 8 different offices that administration is going to be taking care of in that building. They're taking care of right now 40,000 plus residents, where we're at 28. We hope to be at 40 in 2040, which is 16 years. Oh, sure we would. Well, what do you want? Well, we want this, this, and this. We go to the architect of the planner, and he goes, well, that's $1 million. We say, that ain't gonna work. Is there something we can trim out? And I don't know if we've ever gotten to that phase where are there needs and are there wants? Are we looking to build a Burnsville type facility with all of that stuff there? As far as the police station goes, Lakeville facility is extraordinary. It's huge, but yet they've got twice as many sworn officers as we have. They've got a forensics lab there. They've got staff that far outweighs what we have. And again, I'm wondering, same thing. Anything new is going to be better than what we have, but do we have the capacity to ask our taxpayers, what's it going to cost? You know, last year we went with 13%, and there was some dissent, rightly so. We hammered it out and got down to 9.9%. And you know, what is this going to do? And until I really know what a levy number is, you know, are we going to go back to 20%? We need this stuff, and I wish that previous councils hadn't kicked the can from 51,000, and I said right away 49.9 is it. And then we went from 1 building to 2 buildings for various reasons that I certainly had at 51 to 2. Not that I disapprove of the projects, because we need a 30% increase, and I'm not saying 20% last year. Chief Ed Hoffman and said, well, here's a station in Lakeville and the Sally Port, which we don't have and certainly need. I asked, and there was Sally, that's my feeling, so that's why I'll be voting nay.
Anyone else? Nate?
I guess I would just, Jenna can clarify this, if the public come in and express any concerns they have, like you have. I do wanna hear them, I mean, yeah, so.
Absolutely, and, you know, I realize that there's still another couple of off-ramps available. I'm just concerned about our citizens.
I totally agree with your points, Mr. Volkey. I think through the building and what bids we get back for the building, so, I mean, if you think it's necessary, we have a meeting to look at finalized plans for these facilities and really nail down how big do we really need them to be, and that's gonna dictate the cost of bids that we're gonna get back to the projects. I mean, I totally agree with you, Dan. Are we overbuilding the projects? Maybe we are. Maybe we need to sit down again and really look at what do we really need for our police department and fire department.
You gotta go through the process to know. We talk about this many dollars or that many dollars till it goes to bid. We don't know how many dollars it is. If it comes back 5 million more than we need, yep, we gotta figure out some way to cut some stuff. But till we take these steps, we can't know. We might get great bids, we might get way better than we thought. We don't know yet.
It's true.
So we had a timeline chart that night.
We talked a little bit about this last night, explaining why it did that. And this is the top. It's like Dan mentioned when we were looking at the levy, it started at 13 and went down. So to hear the explanation that you gave, because I thought it was very.
And so this is to give you a little bit of a ceiling, so it's not saying we're using it, it's just saying we have up to. And so that's just to ask for that cushion in case there's an adjustment that needs to be made or wants to be made. It gives the council that ability to do without going back through all the expense of the project.
So it's not like we're gonna go out and get $65 million worth of bonds. Once we start looking at what the actual bids come back, if it's under that, we don't have to do the 65, we can do it where it's coming in at, so.
They come in at 55, that's what you're.
Yeah, exactly, or 49.
49.9.
But again, it was something that I think it needed to be explained why it went from 61 to 65, and that is no different than when we looked at the levy, starting levy at 13, and as Dan mentioned, we did negotiations, looked at things, and got to 99. So I don't think that it's something that people should be extremely concerned with. God, you're adding another $4 million because you guys want to build a Taj Mahal. It's just to kind of cover ourselves going forward. Is that a fair assessment?
Anyone else? Oh, but I wanna hear the public, so I will vote yes, I wanna hear the public. And that's what we're setting up tonight.
Like Doug stated, just part of the process. We're dotting the i's, crossing the t's.
Yes. It was in the timeline that was set up here. Not one bit.
The Stamo edition is the site of Ascent number 2, the new building. The conveyed property is in connection with the Stamo addition, the property, well, where the site is of the new Ascent number 2 building. And what we're doing here, now that the plat has been approved, that the portion that belongs to Stedheim and Redline, and the part that's owned by the city, is such that the city conveys to Stedheim and Redline its property, and in turn, Redline and Stedheim needs their property or their ownership of the property that's going to the city, And that's a way of establishing that ought to happen. We know where the new building is gonna go, we know where the city property is, and each party is saying, yes, that's your property, and yes, that's my property. That's the purpose of it. How'd I do?
Perfect.
Okay.
Any questions for Mark on this? Hearing none, I look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Brent to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Don, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Engineering,
Engineering LLC to provide our professional engineering services for the lift stations located at 3950 West Bridge Street, 1155 24th Avenue Southwest, and 3036 North Richland Lane. City has been working with an engineering firm to update our city's lift stations components to come in compliance with electrical code, allow for SCADA integration, improve efficiency in management of our collection systems. Lift stations located at the 3 locations I listed above are slated for these improvements for this year. Previously, the city has worked with AE2S to carry out these services, these design and services from an electrical engineering standpoint. Mark Ruda, quotation process to set up all of our lift stations to be similar in nature. Lift station control panels has moved on to gray box engineering, and we felt that it was beneficial from a staff perspective to have the same engineer for all our lift station projects. Install, we wanted as council, and cost will be paid for out of the sanitary sewer fund as a capital improvement. With that, staff recommends approval.
and any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Second miscellaneous director, Ryan Brown.
Mayor, for this, for archiving and compliance management for 2026. SMART provides archiving for email, social media, and other collaboration, Civic Plus, social media archiving, and that's all that product did. The budget impact is an annual cost of $16,300 in this product. That's a total increase of $8,762.43 per year. There's no additional, approve this bridge, improve the compliance, and consolidates multiple needs that we have into one platform.
Thank you. Any questions for Ryan? Nate?
And this is primarily because we have to comply with bad practices and we have to archive all this information.
Yes, that's correct. So,
We don't have much of a choice.
here, so we did do some substantial work with Acton to get that price down as low as we could.
Wrong line of work again.
Any other questions?
Just a comment if I could, Mr. Brown, and for citizens in the past couple of months, including Smarsh here, I want to say that IT department has spent close to $370,000 and open government internal organizations, but those folks run our office applications, terms for Teams collaboration, or audio conferencing, phone security. This stuff is not cheap. It's all properly purchased and vetted by Mr. Brown. But you know, it's the average person at home, holy cow, look at all the stuff for IT. People that are in industry, it's a big part of our budget that people are all part of the tax stuff. Mr. Brown, thank you very much for taking care of us.
Any other questions? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve. Hearing none, all those in 3.2.3, East Modern IT agreement with Marco, and once again, Ryan Brown.
So the purpose of this is to seek your approval, and so, like Dan said, we have a lot of different systems, it's becoming very complex, and we have a very lean IT staff that we run. So we're looking for additional support to help us get us to where we need to get to, so we can start utilizing these systems even more. The background service, really around identity threat detection, mobile device management, and other modernization tools to improve security and efficiency. The budget impact that this has is monthly services totaling $6,250 with a 3-year agreement for those services. So this is quite an ask, I do realize that. So this is part of the approved budget that we've already approved for 2026. And so staff recommends that we approve this agreement with Marco Technologies for modern IT services to strengthen our.
Thank you. Any questions for Ryan on this? Dave?
Remind me again, where did IT move to now?
We are in what's called Bevel Hall.
Okay.
So it's just a building just to the west of
Motion to approve.
Motion by Doug to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Carries. Our staff report, tonight, we have, Park and Recreation, and I will turn it back to Ryan Brown for that.
I'm actually going to introduce to you Seth Allen, who is one of our recreation supervisors. We're going to focus in on some information from the recreation side tonight. And what Seth does primarily for us is the oversight of the operations of Brook Tree Golf Course. And he also is highly involved with the oversight of the old and cold events that go on in the city. So he's going to take the presentation from here and just share some information on these few topics with you.
Hey, Brian, Mayor and Council, thank you for your time. Like Brian said, this off-season, we actually Golden Cold Winter Festival in partnership with the Chamber downtown, so, first
Seth,
thing.
would you pull the microphone a little bit closer to you, and that way it'll be able to.
Yep, that's good enough?
Yeah.
Perfect. First order of business, we did have 3 events run this, 2 weekends ago. First one was our pickleball tournament, which is a new program. Heard some good things on it, so I'm excited to kind of have some more of those tournaments throughout the years and to build off that. We had 13 teams sign up. Actually, Administrator Zuma and his wife participated, so hopefully she enjoyed it. We also had a tennis and pickleball center open house on Sunday. We don't have numbers on how many people attended, but Eric was there and said things went well. We saw teams of 2, we saw teams of 4. Again, the new program, just trying to build off that. Hope there's some success in future years. We had to reschedule and cancel some events. So we had those couple of days where we were freezing temperatures, 20 below. Just not safe for staff or community members to be out there for a few of these events. So the ones that were rescheduled will go off to the right side here. We have our Luminary Hike and Rock on Ice. Those are both going to take place this weekend on Saturday. Times listed above. And then our ice fishing got rescheduled to the 28th, and the pool bingo got rescheduled to the 20th. Pool bingo, that got rescheduled because school was canceled on the Friday that it was supposed to take place. We canceled events on the left side here. Our swimming sculptures, we did have 5 teams registered on the 6 spots that we had available. Again, it got canceled just because of our lack of snow that week. It takes our parks crew a lot of time, a lot of labor hours to pack that snow and provide it to the participating teams. Same thing with snowshoeing, not enough snow to pack down, so we weren't able to run that event. A few other topics, our spring community activity guide that Deanna and a few of our admin coordinators take a lot of time to produce and send out to our residents. A lot of those spring and summer events have open registration, and we have been getting a lot of River Springs programming in our adult and youth athletics. You'll see the anticipated staff numbers below there. River Springs is much higher than the rest of our programs because at any given point during operating hours, it takes anywhere from 15 to 25 staff to operate that facility. So that's why it's 70 to 80 employees there. Other than that, summer prep, Berkshire and River Springs season passes are for sale. We haven't seen as many out at Berkshire purchased as we did last year. That's because we didn't run a special that we did last year. But River Springs, I believe those numbers are up from last year, so that's a good sign. Any questions on this page? We'll just jump ahead here. Just a recap of Berkshire for the 2025 season. Just want to say I had a great year myself. I really enjoyed getting to know a lot of the season pass holders and getting to kind of build that relationship with them and staff that'll be out there. But we saw our addition to Chill Key. They're a great vendor that operated out of our restaurant area. They'll be back again next year. They're still operating in the off season from 9 to 3, 7 days a week. And they're very family, easy to go along with. If you haven't been out, they have great food as well. So I encourage you to stop out there. We saw our rounds go up this year, just shy of 24,000 rounds, about a 12% increase. So good numbers there. Again, hoping to add some more tournaments, add some new events to see those numbers jump even more. We saw an increase in our Facebook efforts and our marketing efforts just in general. So both of those numbers, our views and interactions went up over 100%, which is good. So we're making the effort to inform inform the golfers and just inform the community overall, kind of what we have going on out there, and if we're closed, open, what the scoop is, so. Last thing here, our 2025 runner-up for best golf course in southern Minnesota, so, this ballot gets sent out to 11,000 homes in southern Minnesota, and we happen to be, the runner-up, so good sign there, and hopefully next year we can take over the top spot. River Springs was the, 2025, it was voted the best water park in southern Minnesota, so just another note to that. That's kind of all we have for rec update. If you have any questions?
Questions for
I can
Seth?
answer.
Just a comment, I hear nothing but good things about Broom Tree down there, thank you very much. And be sure and pass on a thank you to the Tailor Made Golf Company Corporation for their generous donation. I understand it says like you're gonna use it for prizes and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yep.
So pass that thank you on.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
Tailor Made.
Sure will. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Seth.
Yeah, thank you.
For now, public comment, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please approach the microphone, sign in, and state your name and address for the record after being acknowledged by the council president. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes to deliver their comments. Council Vice President Voss will be timing and hold up a hand after 2 minutes 45 seconds to notify the speaker they have 15 seconds to complete their comment. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments. City Council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. With that, I open up public comment.
Good evening, Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive. Yesterday, I attended the police and fire station open house, where I shared concerns and learned new information. I learned that this has been a 7-year project dating back to 2019, yet the public only became aware of it in April of 2020. Without that funding, this project wasn't moving forward. On November 8th, 2025, demolition scheduled for May of this year was quiet, where the safety center was discussed, but it was a formality, staff informing the committee of decisions already made. That was actually the second meeting. The first was not open to the public because there wasn't enough time for proper notice. In December, myself and others attended a meeting to learn more about what we had just discovered was a $61 million project, only to find out it had been moved earlier in the day. I mentioned the safety center at the Truth and Taxation hearing, a meeting specifically about how my tax dollars are being spent, and my voice was cut off. And yesterday I attended the first public open house for a 7-year project with demolition starting in 2 months. 7 years. The first public input. 2 months before construction. That's not normal and it's not acceptable. I asked if residents could suggest more comments could be submitted and was told the city was not seeking public input, so there was no comment process for this open house. I was told my thoughts would be considered, yet no notes were taken, no comments were recorded, no public record preserved. That's not public engagement. This is troubling and it's not new. For 3.5 years I have asked the same question. Where does the public get a say? I have attended nearly every city council meeting, no conversation. I attend study sessions, no public input. I attended committee meetings, no public comment. I have tried, the public has tried, and yesterday we were plainly told the city does not want our input. For 3.5 years I advocated for conversations, my kryptonite, because I had to. We need change. Recently the state of Minnesota invited Mr. Senate and myself to speak to a committee working on reforms to the data practices laws. For the first time, I saw government working the way it should. We were given time to speak. They asked questions, they listened, they worked to understand, they invited continued conversation. That is all we have ever asked for here. This is not just a safety center issue, it's not an East Side corridor issue. This is an Owatonna and Steele County shutting out the public problem. Because apparently, we want our money, but not our input.
wasn't gonna speak tonight. I was here for the Lynn Drive hearing, which after a really long year, we're really happy with the boulevard, so, and I think all the neighbors all tried to cooperate to get it in and out of the place all the years, so thanks for that.
Can you state your name, please?
Tim McMahon, Lynn Drive. Resolution to set the public hearing for the people to today's contracts, finances. It's a public hearing to adopt the CIP plan, improvement plan, with intent to issue the bonds for police and fire. The resolution says the city council has determined to prepare a plan for the city to issue general obligation bonds in the amount of $65 million plus. One of the other things it says is we direct city staff and consultants are authorized to take all other actions needed to bring the plan. It's the intent, how far by statute can you go back? We're talking months and months, years. We're gonna try to get those few $1 million back in, 65 million. It's a pretty touchy subject. The other thing is, there's gonna be the resolution to adopt the CIP plan and then issue the bonds. That's what I would expect with what I've seen. I don't think the budget went to 63 because the budget went up by the $2 million you passed a couple weeks ago. 61 million was supposed to be bonds and 68 interest is 65. That's how you got to 65. You can prove me wrong, not tonight. Feel free to call me correctly. I came to the open house last night. I've already seen what I saw before that. Estimated cost 61 million. You already approved it up to 63 a couple weeks ago and now 65. You may understand why some of us are suspect.
Good evening. First thing I'd like to say, maybe it's a little off the wall or not quite appropriate, but anyway, I'm gonna say it. Thank you, Dan, for your comments on the expense.
Do you want to introduce yourself so that someone take, you want your name?
Anyway, we were at the, last night at the open house and got to see everything. And most people, I learned a lot. Was there for, hour and a half probably, talking to all kinds of people, and learned a lot about it and everything. So we're pretty informed on what it was, what I saw on that 81 page, I believe it is, PowerPoint too. And a lot of things, places around here that are less expensive to do it, that it doesn't have to be a big down underneath type of a, think of that expense also. Whereas you just had a garage, which the one I keep saying is right north of the Racket Club. Level, bigger area than out here, easier, as I've explained, to get to emergency if you had one. You go out, go down, and when you get down to Bridge Street, the stoplight's controlled by police cars or emergency. You go either way. Or you go around the other way here and get back to State and then go down if you wanted to go that way. Same thing, lights are controlled by or the Rudolph, some of the things. A few other things about this place over here. It's very historic, and there's a lot of things there. There is at least 12 of the memory trees, if you know what memory trees are, that have been planted there before they started senior center. They pick them, give them to different organizations in town. So it just goes on and on with that, and it's used all year long, this area as a park. Now you're talking of having more parks in town. This one's used all year long, you know? So it'd be best to just leave this one alone. It's summer, winter, fall, everything. People are out there. And taxes are gonna keep going up. People are gonna keep leaving town. Thank you.
Tyrell Alistair Hunter, 210 North Oak Avenue, apartment 306. I'd like to say thank you to some of you on board and as to whether we're building the proper facilities for our size of a town and the growth that we have. There are 77,000 to 40,000 people. Thank you.
Gary Jones, 995 Ridge Road.
Good evening, Gary.
Good evening. I think I finally have something tonight. I really do. One thing I think we can all agree on is the archery hunt is too long. It's the Cadillac. What I've seen and looking at these things for 3 years, and across Hennepin, Scott, Dakota, Carver, and Ramsey counties, they run a very successful program. Three Rivers conducts 2 3-day hunts about a month apart from each other. They close the parks for each 3-day hunt. The hunters sign up for those 3 days, and at the end of those 3 days, they leave. In a month, they do it all over again. They have another 3-day hunt with closed parks, the same format as the first season. This is successful because the hunter has no disruptions during the hunt. Goes to park and recs 56 days. The beauty of the very season, but still closed for the longer duration of those hunts, close them. The main things are when the hunter is there, the park is closed. The hunter has privacy, liable for any parkour injury. Dump Mineral Springs. It is surrounded by houses, has too much activity, and it is way, way too dangerous. Dump Leo Rudolph. And I know it's 66 acres, but there have been 3 deer taken there in 10 years. And the one deer taken in the past 3 years was likely due to the hunter baiting with pumpkins. There's nothing there. In 2024, the hunter was there almost every day, both seasons all the time. He got nothing. These guys are giving it their all. Forget Leo and put them somewhere where their dedication can pay off. When you look at the 2 seasons Park and Rec currently uses, covering a 56-day hunt, nearly all of the deer are taken first season. There are only 3 deer taken in all of the park's second season in total. This is the organization contacts that could vouch for their success. If you could get roughly the same number of deer in 6 days as opposed to 56 days, reduce your liability for parkour injury to nothing. If you could have a longer hunt in some of your remote, highly productive parks with no liability for parkour injury, why not try it? I think these changes are worth doing. I really think this would be a win-win for parkgoers and the call program. I'd love to be included in some type of discussion.
Anyone else this evening? Seeing no one approaching, we'll now go to council comments. First up tonight, Councilmember Spenby.
Thank you, everybody who came to the. Also want to take an opportunity to say that for anybody who is interested in getting a little bit more involved with the city, we do have some opportunity open. And then we are also looking for somebody on the Fire Department's Civil Service Commission and Board of Appeals. So, opportunities to get involved in city government. If you're interested, let us know. You can get a hold of me, but Jeanette has way better answers.
Over 50 people attend. It's a great turnout. People came in. It is an information meeting, as it's been noted. And we have another one coming up on February. You know, it was noted that I worked for 3 Rivers Park District. That's true. I spent 20 years there. I do have to correct from when I gave the record, since I was noted as an employee there. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. And I have nothing this evening.
Second.
Second by Nate.